Saturn in Scorpio, important takeaways. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down natal Saturn in Scorpio, everything you need to know and how to master this placement. Now, I've done this before, but I wanted to redo it to make it better. So let's get into it. Natal Saturn in Scorpio, important takeaways. So Saturn represents our fears and insecurities and what we need to master in this life to feel successful and accomplished. That's what Saturn represents. It represents our fears and insecurities and what we need to master in this life to feel successful and accomplished. Saturn also represents how we see our father, our experience with him, and our experience with authority figures. Okay, so that's what Saturn also represents. It represents how we see our father, our experience with him, and our experience with authority figures. Scorpio is associated with emotional, sexual, and financial complexities, okay? So when we talk about emotional, sexual, and financial complexities, all things that are complex when it comes to the emotions, sex, and finances, that's what Scorpio is associated with. Natal Saturn and Scorpio people have fears and insecurities surrounding their ability to master complex emotional, sexual, and financial matters. Okay, so this is what their fears and insecurities are. Natal Saturn and Scorpio people, their fears and insecurities have to do with their ability to master complex emotional, sexual, and financial matters. Now, these matters involve many different things, and this can manifest in many different ways. So when we talk about complex emotional, sexual, and financial matters, these things have to be mastered for natal and Saturn and Scorpio people to feel accomplished and to feel like they have a grip over their lives and control over their lives. They have to master complex emotional, sexual, and financial matters. I cannot stress that enough. Celebrity example, LeBron James. Now, I thought LeBron James was the perfect example of someone displaying, living out natal Saturn and Scorpio in the best way. How does LeBron James live this out in the best way? LeBron James is very sexually disciplined. He's been famous since he was 16 years old, and we've never heard about a sexual scandal from him. How rare is that for a basketball player to be famous from 16 years old and to be as famous as he is since 16 years old? He's been in the public eye for 20 years. And we've never heard of a sexual scandal. Why? Because he's controlled sexually. He understands that if he has a lack of discipline sexually, it will work against him. Another way you see this with LeBron James is LeBron James has completely mastered financial complexities. He's a very successful businessman. He has completely mastered the art of having deals with other people, all things involving finances with other people. He's mastered that. He's a very successful businessman, right? So those are the two best ways that you can see this. And as far as his emotions, he's very controlled emotionally. You've never heard of him allowing his chaotic emotions to just get out of control and just be all over the place. So with LeBron James, you can see how he's mastered this. He's mastered his emotions, he's mastered finances, and he's mastered his sexual nature. This is someone that has lived out natal Saturn and Scorpio in the best way. He's never allowed these financial complexities to destroy him, his emotional complexities to destroy him, sexual complexities to destroy him. He's mastered these complexities. He's the one who has control and mastery over these matters. The father is seen as a man that is Scorpio-like. He's controlled, emotionally chaotic, sexual, and intense. He seeks the resources of others and seeks to leverage resources to make money. Okay, so again, Saturn tells us how we see our father. The sign that it's in, it tells us how we see our father and our view of him. When people have natal Saturn and Scorpio, their father is seen as a man that's Scorpio-like. He's controlled, he's emotionally chaotic, he's sexual, he's intense. He seeks the resources of other people, and he seeks to leverage resources to make money. Now, as far as LeBron James, was so interesting is we don't know who his father is. We never ever knew anything about who his father is. And him having Saturn and Scorpio makes me think that his father is not alive. People disagree about that, but I don't think his father is alive. I think his father has died years ago. But either way, natal Saturn and Scorpio people, this is their view of the father. He's seen as Scorpio-like. This is similar to having natal Saturn in the 8th house because Scorpio rules the 8th house. So if you have this placement, you want to make sure you study natal Saturn in the 8th house descriptions as well, because you will find that information resonates with you and it sounds like you because Scorpio rules the 8th house. Natal Saturn and Scorpio people have to overcome their complex emotional nature and discipline themselves as it relates to emotional, sexual, and financial complexities. I cannot stress this enough. To master your Saturn, natal Saturn in Scorpio, you have to overcome your complex emotional nature and discipline yourself as it relates to emotional, sexual, and financial complexities. That's very important. And that's everything you need to know. Thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Let me know what you think. Take care.